I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't work till 12 o'clock at night, or I take a box home and price it all. I'm sitting in my bed pricing cards till 1 a.m. I mean, it's just...
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cards and Content. We are live today from the Dallas Card Show. We're down here filming a couple of interviews, one of which you will hear on today's podcast. So I'm excited to show you guys what we've been able to capture down here in Dallas. But we're going to start this episode with the one thing on my mind. And I will tell you that the one thing on my mind today is going to be the lengthiest piece of this podcast. As we just got back earlier this week from the Topps industry conference in Atlanta, learned a lot, and I want to kind of talk about some of the takeaways from that. Got some stuff here on the phone I'll be pulling up here as we get into this, but spent a few days in Atlanta down there listening to Topps talk about a lot of things, right? What they said they were going to do, what they've done, and where we're going. And to be down there for a few days with a lot of like-minded individuals who are hobby shop owners and breakers, Topps leadership team, and just so many people in this industry that are helping moving it forward was really, really fun. Learned a lot. And I sit here today, and if you look back a year ago when this industry summit happened, the industry conference happened with Topps in early 24. I was talking to our team, and I don't think I felt as optimistic then leaving that meeting, leaving that conference as I did this time around. I think last year when you look at it, we were coming off a little bit of a slower end to 2023, a little bit more uncertainty. And while there's certainly some economical things in the world now, just bigger picture stuff there, I left this industry conference feeling super energized and really good about where Topps is going to be taking what they're working on. We learned a lot about some of the upcoming licenses they're going to be taking over. Premier League, Disney, basketball, football, got dates for those. Those were mentioned on multiple slides. Saw product previews, saw what they're trying to do to improve hobby shops, and how they are continuing to, hold hobby shops to a higher standard, to, really provide a solid, really the best consumer experience. As I think hobby shops are oftentimes an entry point into the hobby, and Topps is really focused on, having the best card shops, get product and to push the hobby forward. So excited for what I saw there around hobby shops. Learned a couple different things here, obviously some internal things with Topps, just with some of their systems, but learned a lot about, a bunch of different things. Gonna pull some of these up here. So we saw a couple previews for there, and I'll try to put some pictures on here. So if you guys are, if you've not watched it, YouTube will be a great spot for this. We'll try to clip some of these. I put some of these in my story on Card Collector 2 on Instagram. But we got some previews for some products Topps is going to be doing, and some of these look insane. So first one is going to be Topps Chrome 25 Baseball. They've got these gold Logo Man autos they put in there. You've got Judge for AL MVP, Ohtani for NL MVP, Skubal for AL Cy Young, Chris Sale NL Cy Young, Gill for AL Rookie of the Year, and Skeens for NL Rookie of the Year. They showed these cards. They look amazing. Just continuing to take moments, again, from a season of those players winning those awards and putting them in cards. Obviously, the debut patch auto is the biggest thing they do right now, in my opinion. We'll get into more of the debut stuff here in a second. But to see previews of those looks incredible. Definitive 25, going to have some commemorative patch cards around Willie Mays. You've got one with Matt Chapman for the Giants and one with Lindor for the Mets. Then we get into Transcendent. You've got some cut autos like Willie Mays, The Catch, Lou Gehrig, Luckiest Man, Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth dual MLB home record, for 50th. Just some crazy, crazy stuff coming to Transcend It, including Anthony Volpe World Series booklet cards, some big name soccer editions. They've got products with Messi, Yamal. Again, just when you see these products and you leave here and you're like, man, Topps is really focused on doing some cool things. One of my favorites from the few days down there was they shared a preview of Bowman Chrome U. And while these are only previews, as someone that does a lot of college football and that's a big part of our brand, I was super excited to see some of the autos they featured that will be on the checklist. So they've got, here's just some of the guys on there. Bryce Underwood. I do not like Michigan. If you follow our content, you know that. I'm pretty competitive. I love Ohio State. But Bryce Underwood is a big-time addition to a Bowman Chrome U product. I would love to see Tavian St. Clair, Jeremiah Smith, some of the big Buckeye names in there. I know Panini has Julian Sand, but Bryce Underwood is a big addition to Bowman Chrome U. That will be a big-time chase in a world where NIL has allowed college football cards to exist, and NIL has allowed quarterbacks to get $10 million. Bryce Young being in there is like this perfect culmination of NIL needing trading cards all at once. Excited to see that in there. As much as I don't want his cards and I don't want to see Bryce Underwood win national titles, he will definitely be a chase in Bowman Chrome U. But there's other big names. Lenoris Sellers, I believe was freshman SEC Player of the Year in the SEC out of South Carolina. Quarterback who's been mocked as high as 1, as low as 15 or 20 next year. Sam Levitt, another quarterback, Arizona State. You got Nussmeier back in there again, Carson Beck back in there again, which they previewed in a Miami jersey. You've got other guys, Katron Allen, Dylan Stewart, Dante Moore. I'm assuming Dante Moore is in an Oregon jersey this time. Gunnar Stockton, Diego Pavia. I think that's the Vandy quarterback who didn't have any cards but had some moments last year. I think he ended up beating was it Alabama and Florida? Ended up beating a couple of the bigger SEC teams. He had a few moments. So excited for that. They did mention mascot cards would be in Bowman Chrome U. That is something I've been an advocate for before. I think we should have stadium cards. I think we should have mascot cards. I think we should have coach cards. As a collector of college football, I would love to see those things in there from a collector perspective. So hopefully mascots is just the beginning, but excited to see that. Then we got a preview in some of the 2025 autos they have, right? This is always kind of that unknown around who does Panini have, who does Topps have. Obviously Panini has announced Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter. We've seen those deals. We've heard they expire at the end of March. The auto checklist that Topps had listed showed Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren, Matthew Golden, Jackson Dart, Amarian Hampton, Emeka, and Luther Burden. So a lot of first and second round guys. Genty and Cam Ward both signing is obviously big. Abdul Carter, I don't think I've seen any Abdul Carter cards. Nothing comes to mind. He might be in Leaf. I don't remember seeing him in Leaf. Maybe potentially on it. Maybe Pulse. Maybe one of those brands that doesn't have the licenses. But Abdul Carter, he's in Sage. So Brian says he's in Sage. Potentially a few. But a Bowman Chrome U licensed rookie auto, that's a big time one, especially with Tyler Warren also being in there. Shout out to some of my Big Ten fans. Matthew Golden, again, Jackson Dart will likely want to be second quarterback off the board. So excited to see some of those updates from Topps. Then they talked a lot about some of their inserts. Again, we've talked about this before actually on an earlier episode of Cards and Content where we talked about really the case hit market. Panini owns so much of the bigger case hits at the moment. Downtown's, Color Blast, and Kabooms. Topps is going to have to compete with those, and I think we got a preview of how they intend to do that. So some of them in Bowman, you're going to get Crystallize, which appears to be an SSP. They're bringing back, I forget the name of this. They did it in soccer. I don't see the name on it. It's like a stained glass, but they showed them of Lando Norris. I forget the name of these. They did it around, I think it was Ronaldo or Holland. They did it in soccer. It looks it gives me like stained glass types vibe, like old school 2015 Prism draft picks, stained glass. But I forget what they called this one. So we saw that. There was another one, I had it right here. Topps Finest will have a Headliners SSP, basically like a fat head for cards. A lot of Helix. That seems to be a big insert for Topps. We saw some previews across different sports for that. WWE, F1, basketball. They showed basketball previews. So we saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Helix preview. So seems they've got a few different inserts in the work. Again, going to need some things to compete with Panini on those. Obviously, they're taking the licenses here in the next year. But the inserts are a big part of the market right now. Case hits are a big deal. So how will Topps's case hits compare to some of the Panini ones? So a lot of exciting stuff there. Shout out to all my F1 fans. They announced the Lewis Hamilton signing over the last week. Exclusive deal with Lewis. They opened that store in London. Saw the London card shop opening with Topps on, I think it was Regent Street in London. And you see Lewis Hamilton there opening up the store, signing autographs. F1 Chrome, Lewis Hamilton, on-card autos to 5 and 1 of 1. I'm assuming there are other ones, but the statement I got was on-card to 5 and on-card 1 of 1. So I don't know if that means the other ones will be stickers, and he only signed 6 on-card, but I do remember seeing an inscription auto out of 5, and then the super. So they previewed both of those. As an F1 collector, excited to see Lewis in Ferrari red. I think those cards will do incredibly well. Got a little bit of the non-sport. They talked a little bit about this. Lot of product coming. Lot of different stuff. Some big time autograph signers they're adding to some of the products. You got some products coming from just Disney in general, like a Disneyland product, a Toy Story 30th anniversary product, some different Star Wars products, including a recent Japanese release. Topps Mayo is the name of that product. Topps Chrome Stranger Things. That's a second Stranger Things product. They already have High Tech, which just came out. And then they added Topps Chrome SpongeBob 25th anniversary. They did say Topps Chrome Dune is coming. I know they've previewed this in the past, and there's been some excitement around that, but they mentioned that will be coming. And then plenty of Marvel, Chrome, Infinity, Topps Chrome Deadpool. So a lot of exciting products coming in the non-sport space. And then the next thing we got was basketball. Topps flagship basketball, Topps Chrome basketball, a lot of stuff there. So some inserts in Chrome have me excited. I know some of my basketball collectors will appreciate this. Bringing back some classic Chrome inserts, which I think will do well. Old school insert, modern day cards with licenses, rock stars. I think that'll be a really popular one. They're also going to have Hidden Gem, Helix, and Radiating rookies. So some old school stuff, some modern stuff with licensing as we get closer to the Topps Chrome basketball return. They did talk about buyback. Buyback is coming for the NBA product. Topps takes over the licensing for NBA in October of this year. I mean, we are months away. This is going to be right after the National, start of Q4. I expect some big things here, and I'll get to that in a second. Saw our first preview of a WrestleMania, a main event patch auto from Liv Morgan. I know that was something we talked in a previous episode with our guy Brandon about what that looked like. And then probably the biggest debut they showed was the Logan Paul. Logan Paul, it says 1-of-1 debut raw patch auto. We've talked about this before around what would happen if McAfee or Logan Paul, specifically Logan Paul, got into WWE products. I think Logan Paul not having any cards would do incredibly well in a licensed product like Topps with WWE. We saw a preview for a 1-of-1 raw debut patch auto of Logan Paul. I would imagine that card will do incredibly well. Debut patch auto, major name, seems like it's got a lot of potential and a recipe for success for someone that doesn't have any cards at the moment. So got that. Few other things. They did announce the Bowman Red Rookie Redemption. I saw this was something they added, kind of a spin on the MVP buyback. So it's this idea they've got these Bowman rookies. You're gonna have a red logo on them. So one of the ones featured was Yamamoto, right? And it's this idea that you can trade it in if they win. Brian will have to pull up the details. I don't have it all in front of me here. It's this idea that you can essentially prospect with these cards, where if these players end up winning like AL Cy Young, NL Cy Young, like MVPs, they can be traded in for more money later than they're worth when they win. I forget what the first one is. I'm going to try to pull this up while I can. I know it was on Topps.com, but it was around, I want to say Rookie of the Year. I forget what the first one was, but if they win it, you can turn it in for like $100. And then if you hold it instead, because there'll be a timeline to turn it in, if you hold it, you can eventually turn it in for like more if they win MVPs, they win Cy Youngs. Let me see if I can find it here. All right, so got a little bit more about it here. It says, once the Rookie of the Year has been announced in November of 2025, collectors holding that player's red rookie will have a limited time through March 31st of 26 to redeem that card for $100 in Fanatics fan cash. If they decide to hold the card and the player goes on to win an MVP or Cy Young, the card could be redeemed for $300 in Fanatics fan cash. If they win 2 MVPs or Cy Youngs, $500. 3, $700. If your red rookie goes into the Hall of Fame within 10 years of retirement, the card would be worth $1,000. If a player wins Rookie of the Year and MVP or Cy Young in the same season, the redemption rewards will be combined, meaning a collector would receive $400 in fan cash upon successful submission. It says fan cash can be used for team gear, live breaks on Fanatics Live, hobby boxes or singles, or at auctions at Fanatics Collect. It says to redeem, card collectors will create or log into their Fanatics Collect account, then ship their eligible cards following submission instructions. So again, I think it takes this idea of Topps buyback paired with prospecting into this idea that, okay, you can get $100 if they win it, if they win Rookie of the Year. There you go. You got $100. You can buy singles. You can buy merch of your favorite team. You can join a break with it. You can do different things with it. Allows liquidity on a card in multiple areas. But then if you're like, hey, I want to invest in this player and I think this player is going to do big things, like we buy cards of players that we think are going to do big things, you've got this future potential that they could win awards and you could trade it in for more money later. So again, as somebody that doesn't collect a lot of baseball, I like the concept of being able to invest in somebody and seeing an immediate return, because if, let's say Yamamoto is the player and they've got a red rookie, well, if Yamamoto wins a Cy Young, is that card going to be worth $300? Maybe. I don't follow baseball enough to know what a Cy Young award winner rookie, short print would be worth. But it seems like a nice way to get a solid chunk of change. It's like a base card for Topps Chrome being $20. Like, it's not normally a $20 card, but Topps is allowing you to get $20 for that base card through the Topps MVP buyback. So an opportunity to get a little bit more or a lot more for a card out of a big time release like Bowman. I mean, really one of the products to collect the guys of the future. So seems like it could have some potential. Going to see how they work out some of the kinks on it. Obviously this is super, super new, but we'll see more likely through the end of the year when we start getting into AL, NL, Rookie of the Year. So more to come on that. But overall, saw a lot at the Topps Industry Summit or Industry Conference. Felt really good leaving it. Seeing the one thing I was surprised we didn't get, and I don't know if this is going to happen more when they get the licensing or what. I expected there to be more of an announcement around a Cooper Flag debut patch auto. Topps gets the license in early October, I think. I think the date was October 1 of 25. It's either October 1 or the last day in October, 30th, 31st, however many days. But I honestly anticipated seeing a debut patch auto of Cooper Flag. That's what I was really expecting. One of the key takeaways to be, they announced that he will have autographs, but I'm going to expect Topps to have some kind of release right around the start of the licensing. Whether that's the first day or a weekend, I'm not sure. But Cooper Flag, we've talked about this on a previous episode. This is a big deal for basketball cards. The class would have been solid with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper and some guys for sure. But Cooper Flag is a different type of prospect. And to bring back Topps Chrome Basketball and all of these brands, Topps Finest, it looked like they're going to have, Royalty, potentially Topps Dynasty. You're going to have some big-time Topps basketball products with licensing, with LeBron James, with Steph Curry, with Victor Wembanyama, with Cooper Flag. You're talking about big-time potential. LeBron James, Topps Chrome, Gold Refractor Autos. That's, the chase on those cards. Potential dual autos or triple autos. Like, let's get into the high-end basketball. Let's see the Steph Curry, LeBron James, Logo Man patch autos on card. Like, we don't have those now. Those cards do not exist. This is an opportunity for Topps to really create major basketball cards. So I'm excited to see that. I expected the Cooper Flag to be previewed. Unfortunately, They don't have the licensing yet, so maybe that's why. Maybe they're holding it for whenever he gets drafted. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling we'll be sitting here talking about this at the end of 2025 around the chase for the Cooper Flag debut patch auto. Will it exceed the Paul Skeens? You would assume it's coming. Will it be in Topps Chrome? What does that look like? But I haven't. You're asking me today. You're gonna put me on the spot. I think that card is coming. I have no prior conversations around that card, but I would sit here today and tell you that feels like a card that's coming. When will it come? What product will it be in? And what will it do? But I have a feeling the end of this year we'll talk more about it. Hopefully we'll share more about the Topps Industry Conference here soon. But I want to kick it over to the interview and talk to a good friend, a young collector, but shop owner. Probably, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the youngest card shop owner in the game. A good friend, someone we've done plenty of deals with. And you guys have probably seen in the vlogs if you've watched any of our YouTube vlogs. So let's kick it over to the interview and listen to what our guy Brooks has in store. All right, what's going on, guys? We are back. We've got another interview today, and we are joined by a good friend, a regular in our Dallas Card Show videos. We are joined by our friend Brooks, Magic City Collectibles. Brooks, thank you for coming on the pod for a discussion. Maybe not as much a deal this time.
Yeah, I know. How are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
Good, man. Just glad to be here.
Well,
Another Dallas show.
I appreciate you you coming on. We talked a little bit before, but normally our interactions at Dallas are around card show deals, and this time we get to learn a little bit more about like the person behind the camera and you know, you and your story. So let's just start there.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I know a little bit about you, but I don't think you know, maybe everybody does. So who are you and how did you get right here?
My name's Brooks Vernon. I started as just ripping packs. As a kid with my dad, we'd go to Target, pick up a blaster, and a fat pack. I mean, I'd buy Lonzo Ball rookies. He was big, but I'm a big basketball guy, so Lonzo's the reason I probably collect and where I'm at now. But he's just doing that with my dad and family, and here now, I guess. So it's kind of crazy.
So I know a little bit about your story, but I know you didn't go from Target blasters and Lonzo Ball rookies to card shop owner.
Yeah.
There's definitely some pieces in there that we've got to connect a little bit. So tell me how you went from Lonzo Ball rookies, chasing those, Target with your dad, to now you run a shop with your family. You're at some of the biggest card shows in the world. What's that in between part we're missing?
I always just started ripping. We'd go to local stores.
Okay.
Shout out Curtis. Curtis is a big reason of where I'm at now, but I was maybe 10 years old and we'd go to Curtis's store and I would buy and flips. I mean, I was probably 2018, 19, big Luka, Trey.
Okay.
Just go see him and just continue to grow. Started doing eBay. That was nuts for me when I started, and then shows, and then I talked my dad into somehow letting me start a shop. My dad and mom was kind of crazy. My dad does other stuff, but he now does his business out of the back and I get to work in the front. So it's kind of fun. And now the shop's kind of taking over everybody's life. So I enjoy it though. I love it. It's nothing beats it. It's just tough. I'm finally out of school now almost, so get to do it full time and truly get to go as hard as I can.
All right, so starting to get a little bit out of you here. So we've got a shop. Dad works in the back there. You get to run the front. When exactly did you guys open the shop?
We opened in 2021, I think August, September. Just started, nothing on the walls, no hobby. I mean, we had some hobby, but it was probably way too much then.
Yep, sure.
I mean, we probably had it at over 120% of what it's worth. And now blasters and stuff, you're having to buy optic megas and it'd be triple what, too much, but I mean, it's just crazy. Now we partner with Topps and have all the wax we need, and it's amazing. So now we're breaking, and it's just crazy how far you can come so quick if you work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 4 years time. I know we're hitting our shop anniversary in our new spot.
I know, yeah, congrats.
Thank you. This weekend. So you mentioned earlier, and I'm going to get back to your previous point here. There's a lot to unravel here because I think this is a pretty cool story. But like, you said, I talked my dad into getting me, letting us open a card store. Like, I can tell you, I couldn't talk my dad into opening a card store. So there's got to be some more in how that happened. I mean, because if you open, you're 18 now.
Yes.
So you're 18 now. You opened in 2021. That's 4 years ago. So you're 14 years old buying a card store.
Yeah.
How exactly did that process happen at the time?
Fortunately, I'm very fortunate. I mean, my parents helped me out a lot. But I mean, really just flipping, getting there. I mean, kind of they saw the growth in me.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents helped me out. They gave me a little bit of money to help me get there. But I mean, now I truly do it all and own it all. I mean, 14 doing it, they helped me get out of school, and I homeschooled. So I homeschool now, but I mean, I was still in school then. I mean, they would run the shop while I was at school till 2, 3 in the afternoon, and then I was there working all night. So it's just it's all credit to them. I mean, I don't really,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some credit to mom and dad for being, the real MVPs for running it during the day. But you don't go from nothing on the wall to the shop that you have now to traveling to some of these big shows by accident, right? Like, if you're not wise with the money, it just eventually goes away. And we don't have these conversations at Dallas. Dallas is one of the best card shows in the country, and you're a regular here. So so I think that's a big test to you, and I think that's why I'm so interested in your story. So talk to me a little bit about the flip game, right? You're 14 years old. Parents got a shop, they run during the day. You run it basically all night. You're flipping stuff. What was that like flip life like for you? Are you going to shows, selling online, just buying online, selling online? Like, what was the flip life like for you?
Really buying anywhere I could. I mean, I'd buy at any local store, local shows. Just what's the best deal I could find? How cheap could I get it? Grading. I mean, that was a big part of my stuff too. Grading. I made a good amount there, and just really the best deal you can find. And I'm a big numbers game, so it's really how much you can spend, how much you can keep it going, keep doing it, how fast you can. That's always how I've been, but now I just do so much of it. It's just crazy. It's just so natural now. It's just a part of it.
It becomes a lot more like regimented and a lot of, like you said, the numbers, the systems. I think a lot of those things kind of work themselves out as you've done it for so long. You have a pretty good idea of what you can buy at what numbers and like what you can get for it.
Yes,
like
for sure.
I feel like it comes a little bit more second nature. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. It's just natural now. I mean, just how quick you can do it. I mean, sometimes I'm not even comping cards anymore. It's weird. I mean, at a point I used to have to comp every card, and now in store, I mean, my dad was telling me the other day, he was like, how much do you want for this? Or how, like, some kid was asking about a card and it wasn't priced. So he came back and asked me, hey, what's this worth, or what you doing? And I think I was being mean. I was like, hey, it's worth, or I was probably doing something. And so I answered it like a teenager would, like, oh, it's this much or whatever. And he was like, okay. And then he comped it himself, and which he can't really do, but he did it. And he gave me credit. He's like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So I think he sees the growth.
So you were almost being facetious, but you were like spot on.
I mean, I'm hard on my dad. I'm hard on him, but I mean, it's just, I think that's part of business. Doing it with him is just, it's tough, but family at the end of it. So
sure. Now, you mentioned earlier, and I want to give some props because I think you and I both have had a great relationship with them, but Curtis.
Yeah.
You're flipping, buying, selling. Any good deals at Curtis's shop?
Yes, you have to. Curtis literally has stuff everywhere.
Everywhere.
And the best thing is, I love Curtis because he will let me dig through every box.
Yep, 100%.
And you have no clue what's in there, no clue what you're going to find. You'll find a dollar card, maybe even a base card, and then it's just like Mahomes kaboom. It's just so random.
Yeah.
But that's why I love Curtis, love Paul, love Jaron, love them all. And they're some of my best friends. I get to hang out with them every show and get to set up with them. So it's just.
Yeah, those guys are regulars in our Dallas videos. We've known Curtis for a while, probably honestly longer than you and I have known each other.
No,
I think I ended up meeting you through Logan. I think that's where I ended up learning more of like you and your story.
Yeah.
But yeah, Curtis is great, and I think that's one thing I like admire so much about Curtis is like one, the selection. He's always got great stuff. It's fun to dig. He's such a good person to talk to.
Yeah.
Like he has such a great personality.
Yes.
Like it's funny because I don't know if you've seen this.
Everybody dogs on him.
100%.
I'm like,
I was
look,
just
I
going-
get it, but you have to truly know Curtis to understand.
For sure. We get it in the comments all the time. Like when Curtis and I do deals, he'll like toss a card on the showcase and people will say something like, God, man, you can't throw these cards. And it's just so funny if you know Curtis.
Yeah.
Like that's just how he is. But you know, I think the end of it, like I think at the end of the day, like I think it's a testament to Curtis and like, you know, I've got people in my story that were instrumental in like helping me open.
Yeah.
Ryan Bannister at, you know, RBI Crew 7, Andy at Indie Card Exchange. Those guys were really big for me. But it sounds like Curtis was really that guy for you.
Oh, 100%.
That was like really helpful in you know, helping you get open.
Yeah, I mean, I could still go ask Curtis for advice today. Hey, what do you think about this? What's going to happen? How do you feel about Topps taking all over the licenses or whatever? I mean, I just appreciate him so much because he's helped me out more than anybody ever. So he's been a person I can always bounce off of.
And you guys
I
are close
appreciate
by
it.
in shops.
Oh yeah, we're about 30 minutes from each other.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, we have the same customers, but I think me and him know it's not going to hurt us. I think
Yep.
it just helps local community, and
Yep.
I feel like I have a different demographic. I have a younger generation than he does.
Yeah.
But that's what I would rather have. I love having the kids in there. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
For sure. Well, you mentioned, you know, you kind of mentioned in passing around like, oh yeah, Topps taking over the licenses. You and I saw each other recently.
Yeah.
Topps industry conference was in Atlanta previously. What were your some of your first thoughts after the Topps conference?
I can't wait. I'm so excited for the entertainment stuff. I think what they showed with all the Disney and how many different brands they could actually do, I think it's just cool. I can't wait for it.
You big into Disney now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because of you. Yeah.
because of me?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you got me hooked.
Uh-oh.
I've been, well, so it's a family thing too. My mom,
Yeah, for sure.
me and my mom love Disney. So when Fanatics Fest was in Orlando, we had planned to go.
Yep.
They unfortunately canceled the
Yeah,
show,
sure,
but
sure.
we still went to Disney because we had a flight and stuff. So we were down there. What I now have 2 or 3 superfractors. I think I have a Nemo.
They're here for sale, right?
No, they're PC for sure. But I don't have any 23s yet. That's a goal, but we're gonna get there. I have Nemo, Lilo, and I have one more, but it's a smaller one.
Some good names.
Yeah, that's my goal, is to try and find good ones. Maybe not like a Buzz Lightyear, but one day.
Yeah, that's I think I share the same sentiment around. I want to get back into the Topps piece here in a second, but I share the same sentiment around the Disney piece. You know, I've taken my son to Disney World. I've told the story like my wife used to work there, so to be able to collect that kind of stuff and piece those to some of the memories, you know, of enjoying those moments with my son and my wife, and then being able to collect the cards of those characters has been really, really cool. And you know, the 23 stuff is obviously the stuff I've been super big on. Just the first year, I think, is you know, impactful across cards. First year Prism, first year Chrome,
Of course, always.
first year Optic, Flawless, those kind of things. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, outside of some of the entertainment stuff, what else did you take away from the Topps conference? I think one of the things you said is, I was thinking about this on the way to the airport when I left the conference, is I think if you would have asked me a year ago when I left the Topps conference, I would have said, I don't know if I was as optimistic when I left a year ago. That was when some of the licensing, like that's when, you know, we had Stroud, Bryce Young, some of those guys were all with Topps. The market had cooled down at the end of, what would it have been, 2023? So the end of 2023, it was a little bit cooler. I was like, there's a lot of unknowns here. And I think I left this Topps conference knowing some of the things they've shown that are coming, I sat at I looked at and was like, these things have me pretty excited. I mean, LeBron James autographs in basketball is a win. Cooper
huge.
Flag, LeBron, you're going to get, I think it was like Diamond Icons basketball. Like there's a really big basketball
cool
product they talked about.
Would they do Topps Dynasty basketball? I think that would be cool. I mean, I'm really excited for Royalty.
Yep.
I love UFC Royalty. I mean, I'm not even a UFC fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for tennis. I'm not a huge tennis guy.
Yep.
I will end up ripping a case because I have a problem, but I mean, I'm really excited for it. I think what they've done really is crazy. I mean, last year, I feel like the market had cooled down, like you were saying. I mean,
Yep.
I'll be honest, I feel like says the market's down now, but I personally am still doing really well, so I don't know. But I'm still excited. I mean, I think what they have coming is huge, and it's just a perfect time for it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the market's, ebbed and flowed a little bit. I think there's a little bit more economical things behind some of the market changes right now, but overall feels pretty good. Another point on that Topps conference, if I'm not mistaken, you're also really big into the Bowman U stuff. I know this is one thing you and I both break a lot, both personally and professionally. What'd you think about some of those? What'd you think about some of those names and that Bowman Chrome U football product they talked about?
It's going to be huge. I mean, I'll be honest, I have not dived deep into it.
Okay.
I know the Michigan QB. I don't know his name.
Bryce Underwood.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I personally have to keep with the Southern people, like the Bama guys. I didn't see anybody up there, but I forget who their QB is.
Well,
now.
Lenora Sellers, I think, will be a big one. Probably big for
sure.
down south. SEC Freshman of the Year out of South Carolina. I think he'll be a big name. Sam Levitt at Arizona State, I think, will be a big name. Bryce Underwood is obviously a big name, just in the NIL era. But I'm excited for that. Looking at that list and the list of the year we just had, which one of those do you anticipate being a more well-rounded product? The new one coming out or the 2024 version we just got?
Well, personally, I really thought last year was, but then Nico killed my hopes on it.
So for context, for those that don't know, you are a Tennessee fan.
Yes, yeah. So that's why I'm saying that. But, I mean, I really like Garrett Nussmeier. I think he will be really good. I hope he has a step up next year. Lagway, I don't know if he has autos in next year's, but.
Well, we had heard when we went to Leaf that he was now Leaf exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I
thought. So I
thought.
believe his stuff is going to be in what's out now from like Bowman, but I don't anticipate he'll be in the
I think that's
upcoming
cool
stuff.
how they do that, though. So it's kind of like you don't have the same guy. I mean, like Carson Beck, it's his, third, fourth year in Bowman U?
Yeah, he's been in a few times. He was in 23, I think, is the first.
So it's just frustrating now. He's in a Miami uni? I mean, who really wants that? But
yeah, I mean, I think Miami fans will tell you they want that. I mean, when they're paying him, I think $4 million a year to play quarterback there.
I don't know if he's that good. I don't know if he's the answer for them.
But I think that's what's cool about it, though, is, Tennessee basically did that QB swap with UCLA because the UCLA kid's now at Tennessee. And I think for you, and I think that's what I give Topps a lot of credit for, and I think that's what's fun about NIL is that kid now comes to Tennessee.
And it has that collectible app.
And now you're like, cool, I want this guy now.
Exactly.
No thanks on Nico. Pass on those. I want this guy now. And, to have a Bryce Underwood, a major NIL deal, I hate that team, right?
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Be huge
but to have that in there, his card's in there. You've got Lenora Sellers, you've got Levitt, there's just so many names in that product this year.
Levitt, I think, is a good one.
Yep. And I thought it was cool. They also talked about announcing the mascots.
Yes. I think that will be sick.
Yeah.
Because I love it for baseball. Like trying to think of the product, this Series 1, whatever they did this year. Loved it. They had the Dynasty patch autos.
Yep.
I think those are awesome. I love playing NCAA football. Like I played the Xbox version, so NCAA 14 when they had like the mascot.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that game was sick.
Yeah, and I think it just adds a different aspect to collecting in that product. It really gets down to that true collector. No. I have the Brutus 101 Prism Black from Prism Collegiate back in the day. And I can tell you if there's a Brutus Superfractor, like I would love to own that card for sure. So again, I think that will be a fun piece. What about anything else in the Topps conference that stood out to you that you took away, good, bad, and different?
No, it was just good hearing from Ruben and Mahan. I was surprised they would be there. I mean, you don't really ever see them ever get to hear a conversation and people ask them questions, so it's always interesting. I got to talk to him last year, but didn't really. Mahan, I had a good conversation with him, so it's good, always getting to talk to everybody, and then you see local shop owners and everybody like that, so it's always fun. I mean,
I think it's one of those things Topps does a really good job on with really trying to promote the industry is show the people, the breakers, the shop owners, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we're working on, and you get to hear from some of the biggest names running those projects, the company essentially. So I give Topps a lot of credit for it. I think it's one of those things. Like I said, I left feeling pretty like, all right, we got some big things in the works here, and next time we have that industry conference, Topps will have taken over all of the licensing. Basketball is this year, football is next year. But I want to go back a little bit more towards you and your journey. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm aware of, but I don't anticipate there's another person that owns a card shop that is 18 years old that bought one at 14 or 15.
Yeah.
So I want to get a little bit more into this because I think this is really inspiring to people out there that are like, hey, I want to do this. You've done it at such a young age. What were some of the challenges with opening your shop at that age?
Well, first off, I appreciate the nice words, but really the most difficult part's probably just, we don't have enough wax. Singles, fortunately now we're getting enough, but still, the shop we sell more singles than I ever thought we could. It's always something I love doing is singles. It's what I grew up with Curtis, buying them from them. Yeah. So, I feel like there's something really missing where we're at, and now we've grown it to where it is. Really, when we started, it was so difficult. Half the time on wax and singles, you'd have to pay over to get the card. I'd try to get the cards like what Mac Jones was Bama, huge then, but now it's Ryan Williams. I'm paying full comps on Ryan Williams just to make $5.
Yep.
Like a base auto, I'll pay $100 because I can't get enough of them.
Yeah,
I can
you just
sell
have
them
to
for
have them.
110, 105. It doesn't matter to me. I want to have the stuff for everybody. I want them to come in and hang out and have fun at, where we're at. So really it's just, I'm real grateful to finally where it's easier now, but it was real difficult then for sure.
So you say that, that was a tough balance with like singles and the wax piece of it. Cause I know like in the early days if you can't get wax, like it's hard because then you got to buy a secondary and you got to mark it up. And then you've got to deal with, the notion that you're higher than online.
Yes. That's,
that's a challenge in itself, but you've also been going to shows for a while, right? So I know personally one of the things I struggle with is like this balance of like, time management of like where you're at, like personally and then professionally. Like you go to all the shows, you're at almost every show we're at, like you go to so many of them. Like I see you and your dad at a lot of these. So how has that been, learning to balance the show versus shop, time where, do you sell everything in both? Do you try to put better inventory in one or the other? Like what is learning that process been like?
It was tough. Really, it depends where we're at. Like right now, I bring a lot, so I always prepare for Dallas or the National or really the big shows, Fanatics Fest. Those shows I try to have enough for everybody. I always somehow end up running out at the shows, but there's cards like somebody may bring in a Will Howard auto. Not something I can use, but like I would want to bring it here because I know you may want it. So it's just, I try to think about that. Like sometimes you may see me bring Alabama stuff to this and really would have to be something that I've had for a while.
Yep.
I just try to build up inventory and where I can have it both places. Of course it's tough. I'm grateful now where I've built it up enough to where I have it at both.
Yep.
But, starting out, it was not easy for sure.
But it sounds like you've also, because I know what you've built over the show, the inventory for the shows, because I've seen it for like we've done some big deals at shows before. But it also sounds like, you mentioned it earlier, singles are a big part of what you sell at the shop. Yes. So it sounds like over time you've really focused on like growing that selection. Do you think that's been positive overall for your shop with like growing the selection of singles you have?
Oh, 100%. Really singles, I think, is a big shop part. Like I think having singles somebody wants is really what you need to have.
Yep.
At least in my opinion, because that's what I loved. That's what I mainly look for when I go into a shop is what singles you got. I'm not a big wax ripper, but I will rip if it's Bowman U or.
Shout out Bowman U.
Yeah.
Or Disney.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. But singles is a big part of my game and just really where I'm at.
But it also seems like, and one thing we've learned is like, I think if you go back to when we started, wax was different because, the COVID time period, there
Yeah,
wasn't
you
as much of
couldn't
it.
get it,
You couldn't
yes.
get it.
So
So everybody, if you had wax, you had an advantage. Now it seems like wax is more obtainable. There's more of it, especially in the retail place. There's more retail available. So it seems like now the idea is the singles is really where you can differentiate yourself, because if you have a better selection, if you have better pricing, like again, like I feel like a lot of, like, especially near us, a lot of shops have wax. Like, so you're likely going to go to where it's closer, especially if prices are the same. But it feels like the singles, building that has been, is one of those key differentiators between shops. Would you agree?
For sure. Like I used to have, like I could take kabooms. I could bring 100 kabooms in downtowns if I had them. But like we sell them in shop. I want to have them. I have customers ask me for them every day. They're like, do you have any downtown kabooms? Do you have any? I'm like, no. So when I put them out, I try to spread them out in shop. Like I won't put 6 out at a time, because then somebody will come and buy all 6. So I try to spread them out a little bit. But I could bring them here and get 110% of what it goes for and do that. But sometimes I'd rather have them in shop for those people,
Yep.
So I just try to have the variety for everybody.
Totally agree. Well, I asked you earlier, what's been a little bit more challenging, what was challenging when you opened, but what's one thing you look back on and say, I wish we would have done this sooner when opening a shop?
Oh, yeah. I wish we started breaking sooner. We just got on Fanatics Live. Really grateful to be on there, but I'll be honest, I'd never really done it. I was real camera shy. Look where I'm at now. But, even I thought I'd never be even doing something like this. I'm a person, if you come up to me, I don't talk. I try not to, but I try to stay to myself. But that's just...
Pretty introverted. Yeah, trust me, I get it. I'm the same way.
Yeah, but now we break. I do it with friends, people at the shop. They're my best friends, so it's really grateful. It's fun. Ripping packs, what's better than that? So,
yeah.
It's just, I love it so much now. It's something I really thought would not be a part of my business. It's never really, when I got it 2021, breaking was such a big thing.
Yep.
I was like, no, I kind of want to stay from that and do something different. I've always been a person that tries not to copy and do the exact same thing everybody else is doing. So I always try to do something different to where it makes you stand out a little bit more. Unfortunately, you have to copy a little bit, but
yep.
The breaking's been the best thing by far. Just from revenue to cash flow to everything, it's just such a big part of my business now.
Yeah, I would probably tell you it's similar for us too. Like breaking's been on and off for us, but we're live so much a week on Whatnot. I think you said it adds so many different pieces to the business that just, like you said, there's a lot that comes with it. But in terms of the shop itself, anything else there? I'm actually surprised, because I think based on our conversations, what I know about you and what I know about the shop from talking to you and your dad, it sounds like you might have gotten into some of the non-sport stuff a little bit later. Pokemon, TCG, some of that stuff.
We've been doing TCG now. Shout out my sister. She runs the day-to-day on it. I'll be honest, I know very little about it.
Really?
I played the games growing up.
Yep.
Me and my friends have been ripping packs now because I have them. So I'll bring a box home and me and him will rip one. But not really. I'm not a huge fan. I used to have cards as a kid, and I used to sell them on eBay. That's part of the card money now, is how I got into it, was selling my old Pokemon collection. I had some Gengar that was $80 back then, and it helped me buy a box to flip on eBay. It's just stuff like that. It's a big part of where I'm at, but really, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said no, I would have never touched it, but I kind of wish we did earlier, because it's really crazy now, and we have so many people come in shop that look for it. It's crazy how fast they find you too. We always had people ask if we do Pokemon, and we're like, no, not really, or hey, we have a box of this and this, but now they all come in continuously and do it. It's kind of crazy. We haven't really been doing it that long either. So.
Yeah, it's one thing we've talked with a few shop owners about. It definitely seems like TCG in our world has blown up. Again, we're like you, just we don't know it super well. We don't have anybody that runs it day to day. So it's been a learning process for us, because I started when I was a kid too. But keeping up with the newer sets and the demand and that kind of stuff's been more challenging. But I would definitely tell you lately, it's there's been a lot more demand for it.
Yes, for sure. It's nuts.
Now I could sit here. We could sit here and talk all day. I love chatting with you. just being so young, just the way you think about things, and the analytics behind it and the strategy behind it. I mean, you've got your head on your shoulders at 18 years old. Like, I feel like you're gonna do big things. You're already doing big things. But I like to end the interviews with this one question, and I'm very curious because you're one of the youngest people. I think the youngest person we've had on here so far. But if you were starting over today in cards, just completely over today, what's one piece of advice you would give yourself? Again, if you started over today, knowing what you know now.
Give it time. Not everything's going to happen overnight. I mean, you have to work and truly put 110% into everything you do. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't work till 12 o'clock at night, or I'd take a box home and price it all. I'm sitting in my bed pricing cards till 1 a.m. I mean, it's just, I do the stuff behind the scenes that not everybody knows about. Yeah, I may leave the store at 6, but I may go eat dinner and then start working again right at 8. So it's really just, you have to work and everything will come. Just trust the process and we'll get there.
Wise words from an 18-year-old for sure. Well, you've got your head on your shoulders. Hopefully, we'll do many more deals over the years. I'm excited to have you back on here, 5-6 years when you've got the biggest card shop in America. Yeah. But if people want to find you, your card shop, anything like that, wherever you're live, wherever you have content, your shop, where can people find you?
Magic City Collectibles on Instagram, Magic City on Fanatics Live. It's really the two big places. But
and where's the shop?
Birmingham, Alabama, Homewood, Central Homewood. So
Magic City Collectibles?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. That is all we got for now. Make sure you guys check out my friend Brooks. Appreciate Brooks for coming on the pod. But for now, that's all I got, guys. All right, shout out to our guy Brooks. One of my favorite people in the industry. When you hear Brooks talk, you can just tell, man, he's got his head on his shoulders. He's a good kid. He's doing things the right way. His family they're good people. I love talking to Brooks, and we actually got to talk a little bit after. It's kind of cool. I wish he would have shared this on camera just to be able to share the moment with him. But he sent us a picture. It's from 2021, December of 2021. It's actually Brian and I. That was the last show Brian and I went to in 2021. That was the first year Brian and I started recording together. We were at the Tampa show in December, and Brooks' dad was telling us, he's like, yeah, I asked him for a picture. Did you get a picture? He was probably 14 or 15 at the time, and we've got the picture. Crazy how young we both looked there, but he was talking about how he watched the content, the shop stuff, and how that was instrumental in his journey. So really cool to be able to share some of those moments with Brooks, to look back on that and see, that's where he was really starting, and to be able to share this, this stage with him and talk with him on the podcast. Man, that's one of those things I do not take for granted, for sure, is to be able to, inspire the next generation. I didn't anticipate that story coming out here, but I appreciated them sharing it, and it was just cool to share with Brooks. So if you guys do not follow them, make sure you guys check them out. If you're down in that area, a couple great shops down there. Brooks is definitely one of them, so make sure you guys stop and check them out. Big release week. We talked about it earlier. Bowman Baseball drops this week. Bowman Baseball Leaf, Lone Star Women's Softball, National Treasures Baseball, Upper Deck Ultimate Collection Hockey, Bowman University Chrome Basketball Sapphire. Interesting. Bowman Chrome U Basketball Sapphire. Okay. Wow, that could be fun. Looking forward to seeing some of that. Maybe some Cooper Flag Sapphire. I didn't realize that was coming out. Optic Football H2, Impeccable Live Golf, our second Live Golf release. The first one, Prism, was a lot of fun. We've ran some breaks with that. Some big potential in there. John Rahm, we hit one of those in a break, and there's a sale on a John Rahm Gold. We hit a gold. There's like a $4,000 sale in one of those cards. So some strong Live Golf sales. Second release there with Impeccable. Select La Liga Soccer, Topps Resurgence Football, another football product from Topps. Jaden, Caleb should have a lot of those QBs. But there is one dropping this week. Shameless plug. Topps V-Friends Chrome Hobby and Blaster drops this week. Got to see Gary speak at the Topps Industries conference. He will be in shop this Saturday, 12 to 3 p.m. Trade day at our shop in Grove City, Ohio, 3455 Grove City Road. Gary and co will be there 12 to 3 p.m. So if you're in the area thinking about coming, come check it out this weekend. Again, 12 to 3 at the shop with Gary this Saturday, May 10th. Expecting this release to be pretty big. Had a lot of people call and ask about it. So hopefully I'll be able to share some more numbers and some insight on this here soon. But excited to see what that looks like and excited to talk more about it. We're running our show. This is being recorded obviously in Dallas, so we can get it up in time. But we got our first ever Grove City Card Fest this weekend. When this episode drops, it'll have been the day prior. So excited to share more about that soon when we're back. But a lot of big things on the horizon, a lot of cool things to talk about here soon. But for now, guys, that is all I got. Peace, guys.